Hey, good day, everybody. Just want to welcome you back to Conform to Transformed. Hello there, Mrs. Crouch.
Hello there, Mr. Crouch.
My wife, she's on camera with me again. It's been a while.
It
We've been
has
going
been a
through
while.
a lot of stuff, which
Yeah.
obviously you're going to see big time in this episode. And so we're really, really excited about this. We talked about it a lot yesterday and last night. We just had so much stuff that we want to share. Krista wants to update everybody. We're so blessed to have so many friends and so many people that are genuinely concerned that it becomes kind of a process just to keep everybody updated as to what's going on. And so we just decided that we love doing this part. So we're honestly just going to kind of journal this as we go, and we're kind of kicking this off. And so I just want to warn you guys, we feel like we talked about it and then with each other before we even recorded this and said, hey, we're going to be really vulnerable about this. I just said, hey, I'm going to talk about some things that her and I haven't even really talked in depth about yet, and vice versa, just the way that we feel and how this affects us. And you'll know more as we go. So most of the story today, although I am alongside of her and I've had my own medical issues as well coming along, today's a story about how God is working in Krista's situation. That's what we're talking about, and how completely, blatantly obvious that it is that his hand is in absolutely all of this. And to me, you just got to be blind as a bat if you don't see it, or you got to just like on purpose want to disprove it just to be right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. It's just that obvious to me. And so, we have some faith-filled conversation today. We have some deeply personal stories, and we're just so honored and blessed to have you guys with us. And so, Krista, for now, I'm going to kick it over to you, girl.
Okay.
Lights, camera, action, baby. You're on.
We're going to title this one My MS Diagnosis Journey. Yes, you heard me right, and we're going to get there. When medical confusion met divine clarity. This is the first time sharing since we went to Cleveland Clinic on Friday, and I know I had so many people praying for me on Friday and our travels and all that, and we're going to get into all of it, I promise. But I want to start out by saying, re-emphasizing what Brian was saying. This is pretty heavy, but we know that God's hand is in all of it from the beginning to the end, and we're gonna walk you through that and where we stand today. So that's what we're going to do today.
So that's what we're going to jump into?
So I'm going to jump right into the very beginning of this medical journey, I'll call it. So in 2020, right, was when I got my vaccines.
Yeah, right. So March of 2020 is whenever it was globally like this
March
is COVID.
2020,
so I don't know how much.
I was pretty early into getting the vaccines. I remember it was pretty early in the school year. And the reason I remember is because it did affect me differently. Like after I got my vaccines, my body did feel like I got hit by a bus. And so I did take some time off work. I remember that. So it was later that year. It was the last day that I had with my fifth graders that year because we were throwing their celebration because at the time my fifth graders that was their last day at elementary. They were going to move on to the middle school, and so I was on my feet pretty much all day. And we were also buying a home.
Yeah, it was just a crazy time.
So, and I remember I had to leave a little bit early from that celebration because we had something to do for the closing of our home, like legit closing of our home in the next couple of days. And so I felt it at the end of that day. When I was wrapping up, trying to get things put away so that I could leave the school and go to wherever I needed to be. I think we had to do a walkthrough in this home actually before we signed the closing documents. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
I remember that day.
But I felt it that day, and I don't even think I even said anything to Brian, but I was like, man, I'm having a really hard time walking this stuff back. But I had a cart, so I was okay. And then I just dismissed it as it was a long day. I mean, come on, throw in a bunch of activities for fifth graders and trying to pack up a house. We obviously were packing things up at that time too. So I just kind of blew it off. And then it kind of would come and go throughout time. It wasn't very frequent, but it would happen. And if you recall, at the same time, Brian's drinking started getting a little bit worse. The stress that was putting me under was definitely very heavy. So I just kept dismissing it as stress. And this is my body shutting down to all the stress, because I also have have a stressful job. Working in education isn't an easy job. So I was stressed all the time and coming home to stress, and I just didn't have any relief from stress. So I'm like, this is what your body does when you're stressed. So I just kept going. I had to continue to be a teacher. I had to continue to be a mom. I had to continue to be a wife. And I put my health aside and just kind of dismissed it at that time. So what do you think? What about your perspective of
Yeah,
that
so I
time?
mean, during all of that time, like, and so if you remember, right, yeah, my stuff was becoming more and more of a problem and things like that. But I distinctly recall all of that. I mean, as you remember, very highly functional, during all this. So I remember all the events and going through all of that. I remember dismissing some of it as soreness. Just because I remembered we were going back and forth on some stuff. During the time, I feel like I'm very physically active. I am, and so I just figured that maybe it was just a lack of you not exercising a whole heck of a lot and going out there and doing that. It's like, she's sore for a few days. And then it would get worse, but I also felt like it wasn't bad enough yet to where like it kind of got better. I don't think alarm bells were going off for either one of us yet.
No.
You know what I mean? And so I knew something was just a little bit wrong, but I was just like, she'll bounce back. Maybe we go to Planet Fitness and, like get on an exercise bike for a couple of days, like maybe stretch out a tight muscle or something like that, I don't know. So I didn't really know how to interpret them at the time. To me, I was more maybe not sympathetic, I guess.
Right.
If I'm just being completely honest, to me, it was like, you're sore, get over it. It's kind of where it
Well,
was. Because it wasn't at a level.
things between us weren't good, obviously.
No, they weren't.
Either.
Things were terrible between
Things were
us.
terrible between us.
Yeah, but I mean, I never not cared about your physical well-being.
Of course not.
No matter
Of course
how,
not.
no matter how bad that
But when we were together, the focus wasn't, is
it wasn't
Krista's
making you
health
better.
okay? Yeah.
Yeah. At that point, I mean, we were in daily survival mode.
We were in daily
at
survival
that point, right
mode.
there, and that's why that I always have this little bit of guilt, and it's just, we'll get into it even more. It's just, I always wonder. First of all, just back, like, I listen to just a ton of psychology books, like effects of things on your brain. And I do know, it's like animals, for example. So I'm going to veer off for a second. Like animals, they have that fight or flight thing.
Right.
Animals are cool. Like, they're instinctual. They don't typically have emotions very much.
Right.
But if they're in danger, just like us, every other activity in your body shuts down. And the only thing that gets active is the one that makes you run, the one that makes you stay alive, or fight or flight, right?
Right.
Our bodies do that. And it's good. It's good that it does that. When it does that, every other part of your body stops doing its job. Well, we're not meant to live in that.
Right.
And that's when your body gets into disease.
Right.
Disease.
Right.
And that's whenever your body's out of whack. That's what disease is. And so whenever you go into that fight or flight mode and your brain goes into that emergency mode and you live there.
And I lived there for a long time.
That kills you.
Right.
Like, that develops diseases that otherwise you don't need. And that's why it's so important, the mind over matter things and the attitude that you can take. That's why you can see 2 cancer patients. One's dead in 3 weeks, super duper depressed, dead.
Right.
The other one, top of the world, always smiling, gets 6 months to live and lives 10 years.
Right.
There's a humongous power in the brain, right?
Right.
And so, that's kind of just where I was going with that one. But it's just, it always ran in my head, like, did I break her?
Right.
Did I break her? And I mean, I don't know, just with all the tests and everything that we looked at, that's not definitive or anything either, but I also think that I put just way too much guilt and pressure on myself for that piece of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
so I wrestle and struggle with that.
The neurologist tried to reassure you that that's the case.
I know, but it's still not good for you to live there.
But we both were kind of in that headspace for a little bit, but okay, let's fast forward, 2 years sober. I'm still feeling it. Things are peaceful in our home. And my symptoms, not only were they still there, they were happening more frequently. Sorry, guys. I'm going to try to get through it. To where I couldn't walk around the block anymore. And just the toll it was taking on my life. And to not be able to put words into what was happening to my body to people, and to be scared to commit to doing things that required a lot of physical activity because I didn't know from day to day if my body would work. Um, I started with going to a regular doctor because I thought something was wrong with my hip because it was my left leg giving out first. I could feel it in my left leg; it would give out, and I could feel some pain in my lower back and like kind of through my hip. And so I went to my general practice doctor first. She drew blood, all just basic blood panel. All that came back okay. She sent me off to do an X-ray of my hip and lower back, and those things came back fine. And so then um, I kind of just thought, well, maybe I'll just work out a little bit and I'll be okay. And so I think we were going to the gym for a little bit.
Yeah, you were there like every day for like 2 months or something. Yeah.
I still wasn't seeing the progress that I wanted to see. Um, I I was really hoping it was stress, and it wasn't. So I kind of didn't move as quickly as I wanted to. I was trying to figure out what's going on. I went on a work trip. We went to
Orlando, right?
Epcot while we were in Orlando, and I couldn't do the walking. We ended up having to rent a scooter, a motorized scooter, and that was a hard moment for me. It was a moment of realization. Um, so I knew when I came back, I'm like, I've got to do some more. We've got to get into this. We've got to figure out what's going on. So I ended up at a spine doctor. The spine doctor was pretty sure that he was going to find something, pretty much convinced us he was going to find something. He sent me for my spine MRI, and it came back and didn't show what he thought it was going to show. So he sent me to a neurologist. The neurologist ordered and some of you know this because I've shared before. So the neurologist ordered another MRI with my brain and spine with and without contrast. I was literally in that machine for 3 hours. I mean, the whole 3 hours in that machine. It came back and there was one lesion on my brain. The radiologist seemed to think it was MS, but at this point, the neurologist, the local neurologist here locally, did not. He thought that this is stiff person syndrome. He was pretty convinced it was stiff person syndrome, had us convinced it was stiff person syndrome. Had the Mayo Clinic, sent my blood work off to Mayo Clinic. The blood work came back not indicative of stiff person syndrome, but that does happen with some people in stiff person syndrome. So he wanted to stick with that, and he wanted to start treating me for that. And he also in the meantime asked, would you consider getting a second opinion at Cleveland Clinic? And I said, absolutely, 100%. We would love to get a second opinion at Cleveland Clinic. This is where God really started moving because we thought that it would take a long time to get into Cleveland Clinic. Also, my infusions for stiff person syndrome, he wanted me to start those. Insurance denied those. Thank God that they did. Yeah. I didn't start those infusions. And thank God I got the call from Cleveland Clinic, and they really wanted they put me on the priority list. And I was like, oh, I'm a priority, but I'm too young to not be able to walk around the block and to be able to function. So that's what got me on the priority list when they called and they walked through the questions. So I got in pretty quickly the day after Thanksgiving. Very exciting. So here we have a radiologist thinking that it's MS. I only have one lesion on my brain, nothing showing up on my spine. That's why the neurologist locally did not think that it was MS, went with stiff person syndrome. So that brought us to our trip to Cleveland Clinic. Now, we on Thursday had a very non-traditional Thanksgiving. My mom got here at like 9:30 in the morning. We loaded up the car, and we headed to Cleveland Clinic. As soon as we got there, blizzard started. I am not joking.
5 minutes after we got to the hotel, by the way. It was seriously, the timing was that
we
close.
still went to dinner. We had dinner reservations. The dinner was wonderful. Great. I was worried all night because you could hear the sleet hitting, you could hear the snow, and I'm like, oh, is my doctor even going to show up tomorrow? Like, is he going to cancel this appointment? And he got very little sleep thinking about that.
It was a concern.
It was a concern. So Friday morning, I had to be there 8 a.m, and we get there, and they're wonderful. I can't express how wonderful they were from the very moment. Everybody was so nice. The very moment we walked into the door, through the whole day that we were there, everyone we encountered the entire day was amazing and wonderful. So they took me back, and I had to do a couple of tests on my own, like cognitive tests and walking tests, basically. And then they took me back to where the doctor was going to come, and he came in, and you could tell this guy was a professional, not only in his field, but a professional in how to deal with the emotions that come with the heaviness of what he does for a living.
That's what stood out to me the most.
Yeah. And he was very calming and very reassuring. And so I walked through my story with him, and he really didn't even have to look at any of my tests before he said this. He said, I would not, he watched me walk, he heard my whole story, and he said, I would not, this is a very heavy diagnosis, so I would not say this unless I was confident that this is what it is. He goes, I think you have progressive MS. And then, the heaviness hit the room. It hit the room. Because progressive MS, the word speaks for itself. Progressive. And here I am, I can't walk around the block now. So, the heaviness hit the room, but he said, without saying it, basically, he said, you are in the right place at the right time, and we are going to take care of you. And he said there are a lot of clinical trials going on, and you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. I want you to know you're going to be okay. And so I had to go back to the waiting room. I had to get my blood work scheduled. I had to get more blood work while I was there, and it was in a different area of the hospital. And he also wanted to see if the physical therapist that specializes in neurology happened to have any openings that day because of the weather. Because of the weather, he thought maybe there's some cancellations and you could get an initial consult with him. So we're in the waiting room, and first of all, it hits me. If that neurologist in Carmel had thought that I had MS, I would have just been treated with the standard progressive MS things that are in place now. But because he didn't think that it was the progressive MS, I got in touch with Cleveland Clinic, which is doing some breakthrough things right now with MS. And that would have never happened if I was diagnosed by the Carmel doctor. So now, since I'm in touch with this Cleveland doctor, I'm going to be involved in some medical trials that are, I think he said it without saying it, that I think they're pretty much close to being not even considered a trial anymore. I'll just say that, because that's the way he kind of hinted. Is that the feeling you got? Yeah. Because he just kept emphasizing, I want you to know you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay.
Doctors can't make promises that, they can't give that false hope. They're like, hey, there's a clinical trial
based on medical trials.
No, not at all. But he said it without saying it.
But he did say it without saying it. And before we even went in, my mom and I, and Brian will put this picture up, but my mom and I saw that there was this digital clock, and it was like this countdown. It was like this, and they're building this whole neuro study clinic. Like it's a whole thing. I don't remember exactly what they call it, but when he puts it up, you'll see. But it has to do with like a research center. I think it might be a research center.
It's a big building that's dedicated to
and
nothing
so
but
it's
the
all
neurology.
dedicated to neurology. And I just want to re-emphasize that if I did not go down the path that I did, and the carnal neurologist would have been the one to diagnose me, I wouldn't have been at this cutting edge medical facility that's going to be able to help me more than I think what the carnal facility alone would have been able to. So that hits me. And I'm also crying. Of course I'm crying. And this lady who is about 10 years older than me, attractive woman, looks perfectly healthy. She sees me crying and she says, "Hey, did you just get diagnosed with MS?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Come here, come sit next to me." And she looked at me and she said, "I was diagnosed a few years ago."
She was in her 20s when
In her
it was 30
20s.
years ago.
And she goes, "When I was diagnosed, my hands were stuck like this and I could not walk." She goes, "Look at me now. Would you be able to tell?" And I said, "No." And she said, "I want you to know you're in the right place. They're going to take care of you here and you're going to be okay." And I can't tell you, that was God. That Jesus sent an angel. Jesus sent an angel through that lady. And then it got even better. I got called back and I had to leave. And she got called back and she had to leave. But we hugged real quickly. But then I happened to be sitting out there again when she came back out from her appointment. And so we stopped her again and I thanked her again. And she shared her name at that time. She said, my name is Mary." I kid you not. But my friends call me Beth. So you call me Beth. And then Beth prayed over me. And she prayed an amazing prayer. And that was God. That was totally God. So God was telling me I'm going to be okay. And the other miracle was I was able to see that physical therapist. And he was amazing. Totally amazing. And he said, "I don't know what your diagnosis is for sure. I don't know what was said to teach you today." He goes, "But everything that I'm seeing that in your body is something that can be improved on. Everything that I'm seeing with your walking and what your muscles are doing is something that can be improved on." And so that was encouraging too. And he was amazing. And he gave me the prescription for some leg braces and things like that that I'll put into place. You have to get in touch with. Oh, I do need a local physical therapist that specializes in neurology. So if you are local to the Indy area and you know somebody like that, please shoot me their information. That's on my list this week. So that was amazing. So the blizzard was we didn't start blizzarding until we got there, and that blizzard caused a cancellation for me to even be able to see that guy. I mean, God just had his hand in so many things from top to bottom. Okay. And we get home Friday and I'm exhausted. Like I said, I didn't sleep much Thursday night. So I fall asleep, okay, but I wake up early Friday, early for me, and it's like hitting me again. And I'm like, "Oh, am I going to lose my ability to walk? I want to be able to dance at my daughter's weddings. I don't want to be rolling at their weddings. Not that would be the end of the world. I'm not saying that. And these are the thought processes going through my mind. And it's just going to get even worse than my lower extremities. It's just going to progress up to my upper extremities. And it's been very slow. So that's encouraging. But where do I land in this? And all of a sudden, my phone buzzes and it's the verse of the day. And the verse of the day, Isaiah 12:2. And it says, "See, God has come to save me. I will trust in him and not be afraid. The Lord God is my strength and my song. He has given me victory." I kid you not, that was the verse of the day when I woke up. And I said, "Oh God, you're so good." And I started thinking about all the things, all the way his hands have been in it. And I declared right then and there that I'm going to be somebody's Beth, Mary in that waiting room someday. I'm going to be there, Beth and Mary. That's where my story's heading. So now I'll bring you to where we're at now. So he's going to study more closely, look closer at my MRIs. Then he's going to order my spinal tap. I'll get a spinal tap. And then we have an appointment with him virtually December 26th. And at that appointment, he'll be ready to give me my plan. So I will have a plan to attack this and start addressing this on December 26th, whatever that looks like. So if you could just be in prayer over him as he's looking through things and coming up with that plan, and just over me and our insurance. I mean, insurance is going to play a big role in this too, and that everything can go as smoothly as it can. That would be great. Um, our marriage is stronger than ever, so I think we have been through some stuff.
Yeah.
We have been through some stuff. And this isn't going to break us either.
No, not at all. Just strengthen us.
If you saw our Thanksgiving video that Ryan posted, I said, if we weren't on the enemy's radar, we'd be doing something wrong. So the fact that we are so heavily on his radar tells me
I mean, it's
that he really wants to try to stop us, but he's not going to stop us. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not mad at him. I'm very mad at him. I think he's a jerk. But and I'm angry. I am so angry. But my God is stronger. And he has told me he'll take care of me, and I believe that. So we're gonna be okay.
Yeah. 100%.
We're gonna continue to use our story and our testimony to bless people. We have thought through sobriety. We have
wasn't much fighting. God just fixed it.
Yeah, fixed it. I mean, but you know what?
Leading up
overcome
to
it.
Yes, overcome it. That was just everything. I'm gonna give you a break because you can barely talk.
It's okay. It's okay.
I just ever since that day in May, right around that time, a year after that we got our house.
Yeah.
And that recovery day. God has had his hand in every single minute of every single day of every single event that we've had. And it's just, and I've just gotten more and more obsessed with seeing that. And you know that, like I talk to you about it all the time. And it's one of those things to where if you are looking for God's hand, you'll see it a million times a day.
Yeah.
And we were super intentional about that when we were going to Cleveland. And you could just see it with every mile on the road, with everywhere that we stopped.
Oh, even on the way home, the beautiful sunset. Remember how beautiful that sunset was?
Yeah, with the way that the weather fell. It's just like every single little thing. And I'm glad that that got drilled into it a little bit more when we were in Cleveland, because it's just a daily reminder. Because we can get in this habit, I think, of thinking that God is just so huge that he doesn't think about these little things. Like, he doesn't care I'm going to go to work today. He doesn't care when I'm having for lunch tomorrow, right?
Right.
Monday, it's December 1st on a cold day in Indiana.
Yeah.
He cares. He more than cares. Like, he knows what's up. He knows what's going to lead up to that. Every single little minute, everything down to every atom of every particle of everything that you can think of. He's in all of it.
Yes, he is.
He's in our marriage. There's a reason that we're still together. There's a reason that I'm still alive. There's a reason that we ended up going to Cleveland instead of this. It is ironic that I've been making fun of Cleveland for 15 years and we ended up landing there. And by the way, spoiler alert for all of my friends, anybody that knows me, and how much that I just make fun of the city of Cleveland for no reason. Really, I don't know. I just always have the Browns, I think, is what probably started it when I was little. That was an awesome city.
It
Like
was a
we
very
were only there
awesome
for
city.
24 hours, and it was a blizzard, and we were at the doctor's office. But I went out and about for a little bit, and we saw some things. I'm going to be totally fine with having to go back there a few times a year. And that's not a problem.
Like it's very, there's a lot of history there. The churches, there are some amazing churches that that have been here since like almost the beginning when our aunts, when people came here. Yes. Like because it's right on the lake. So that's why, for trade purposes and things like that. Wow, some of the churches, I would just love to go back and just explore some of those because some of those were so cool. Those buildings were amazing.
Yeah.
And Mom brought up a good point too. She said, God bringing Brian to sobriety is a blessing in disguise as we face this too, because either
it's not in disguise for me.
No, yeah. Well, what I mean is, as far as this diagnosis goes, because I would be going through this alone. And that would have been totally, this would look totally different going through this alone, because there are days where I can barely walk by the time I get home from work. And there are other secret blessings, like, rest in peace to Brian's stepdad, passed away a couple of years ago, but there's a beautiful electric chair waiting there for me that we can go pick up, so that if there are days where I need that, or if I know I'm going to an event where I'm going to be walking all day, I'm going to have access to that in the meantime.
It's a nice one too.
Well, whatever treatment I'm going through, I'm standing firm that I'm going to get better, and I'm not going to progress to get much worse. But we have that. And knowing that I have that brings me comfort, right? Knowing that I don't have to fight insurance to get one, that I have one. As soon as we go see his mom, we will get that, and we will pick it up. Brian, what are some of your fears?
Well, I'll tell you several things.
You can be vulnerable. You're allowed to have fear. God wants us to be vulnerable.
Well, my fear is like something happening to you. That's my biggest thing. Yeah. I'll tell you, through all of this, I'm more encouraged than I'm not really afraid of anything at all whenever it comes to this stuff.
Yeah.
Because I know that you've got some fear. It's your body. Obviously, you have progressive MS. But what encourages me more than absolutely anything is that you're surrounded with, you keep saying some of the best in the area. These are the best in the world. The people that you're being modest. You're surrounded with people that are taking care of you. You have Facebook groups of like-minded people. You have hundreds upon thousands of people praying for you every day. Not because of special events. Like there's somebody on their knees for you right now. I promise you. All of these, and I think even back when we were being stupid before we got right with God and we came that way, I think He was setting things up even then, because that's how God works. That's how awesome He is.
Yes, He was.
He was doing that even when we were being stupid. Yeah. And so what I fear, I wish I could take this off of your plate and give it to myself. Like I wish I could take this from you. I would do anything for that. So my fears are whenever I'm not here and you are. And we have stairs. I've seen you walk. I've been there when you've fallen before. I mean, like, and you're awful with your phone, so bad with your phone. Like, what happens if you, and not just you, like anybody could do this. You could leave your phone on a counter and fall and not be able to get me.
Yeah.
You're not going to die. I mean, somebody's going to be, you live in a nice house, there's heat.
I'd be able to get up.
There's heat, there's cooling. You'll eventually crawl your way to safety. I know that. But my biggest fear for you also was, what does this do to your brain? That's why I'm so intense and so obsessed with the positivity and with trying to rub that off on you, because I know that if you get down and sad on yourself, that affects you physically. It affects you physically.
MS,
it does.
MS doesn't just affect you physically. It doesn't affect just the physical things that you can see. MS affects how much energy you have.
Yeah.
MS affects your anxiety and your depression level.
Correct. Your moods.
Your moods. Yeah. There's just a lot that goes into MS, and I'll be sharing more about that, because I do plan on taking you guys with me through my entire journey.
Yeah.
And I have so far.
Yeah, we're gonna keep doing it.
I was convinced I had stiff person syndrome, but I do not. I have progressive MS.
Spoiler alert: I was never convinced of that.
I mean, so and this guy, he knows his stuff. That we have landed where we needed to land.
Yeah, I'll interject that, because you didn't really say, it only take just a second.
Yeah.
Something that blew me away with the Cleveland Clinic was those people didn't just seem like doctors or physical therapists. Like, they were experts in human communication levels. Like, something about this area that I absolutely love. We are top notch technology wise whenever it comes to medical fields.
Yeah.
Like, we have some of the best in the world here in this area,
Yeah.
5 minutes away. But I also feel like that there's so much of it and it's so big that it can get systemized.
Yeah.
And it's nothing against the people that are working there, but their job is to get people in, get people out, your number. It's almost like a factory of some sort.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that there was more of a level of, hey, I know this sucks. Like, take 5 minutes and tell me how this makes you feel.
Yeah, he kept doing
And it
that.
sounds a little cheesy, but it's not, because this is her life. This is her brain. This is how it's affecting her day to day. And so whenever she would even start tearing up a little bit or something like that, he'd say, don't, he just made her feel so uncomfortable and made her
so
open
comfortable,
up,
not uncomfortable.
or comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did I say
You said
comfortable? And she opened up to the level to where she was laying on the couch at a therapist's office. And that's the level that you need, though, because if you don't open up like that and you're not that vulnerable and that comfortable, you can't tell your whole story. And if you can't tell your whole story, he can't make the proper diagnosis.
Right.
And so just all around, they were just absolutely amazing and all of that.
Yeah.
I can't say enough good things.
No.
What I was getting at, my fear is something happening to you.
Yeah.
I am not afraid of this getting worse, because at the moment that we see something getting worse, you're going to be surrounded by doctors that are like, let's figure this out. Yeah. And you're going to have research, there's going to be trials available. And then also just watching you in the physical therapy, and with those braces, as much as you're on your feet, those things are designed to keep your toes from going down.
Yeah.
That's going to lower your chances for any kind of falls whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's going to strengthen your leg muscles back up. I see you getting better every single day over this.
Yeah.
And so my fear is that your mind stays sharp and that you stay positive and that you can see that finish line instead of getting down on yourself so bad like most people do. I'm not dogging her about this.
No.
Anybody that gets that kind of diagnosis, if your first thought isn't fear, there's something wrong with you. Right? But then you also look at it and you're like, could God have put us in any better situation for what you're going through right now?
Mm-mm.
None.
No.
So,
no. And it was crazy because even the physical therapist, like, this was another moment that sticks out to me. The physical therapist was like, oh, I see. Your brain, when your brain isn't communicating to your leg. And I'm like, that's what I have said to everybody. My brain doesn't communicate to my leg. Yeah. And he said it without me having to say it. He knew right away, your brain isn't communicating. And he said, you've got to walk slow because the signal is slow. He goes, so just try to start training yourself to walk slow. Yeah. Like, that's easier said than done. And I work with elementary children, but I will try to get there.
And who are you married to?
And I'm married to.
That has just been great. And that's another thing that we've kind of chatted about too on the mental level of it all, is that she's a completely selfless person. I feel like we're very, very selfless when it comes to each other now in our marriage. And so we tend to do things for each other that go above and beyond, I feel like. And so, like, I'm on this personal development journey where, like, my physical fitness is getting better, my mental, reading all these books, doing all these things. And I know that you love sharing in that with me and all of those things. Yeah. But it's really hard for me to come home and share physical fitness victories or things like that. It's hard for me to brag about a number of push-ups that I can do when you're like, hey, dude, like, I can barely lift my left leg. Yeah. But then she's also coming from a point where she wants me to be able to share those things and to be excited about it. But I'm also at a spot to where, like, I feel bad being successful in certain things. Right. But also don't want to just, like, turn the faucet off on any of my goals. And you don't want me to do that either.
Right. No. And I want to be clear. Like, I literally, like, in my notes, it said that like, that would be, like, very tempting for a bunch of people who get diagnosed. Well, I'm just going to work out my way out of this. You can't do that.
Impossible.
It said, please do not do that. Please do not try to go and start running on a track. That's like the worst thing you could do. It said I can do light yoga, light stretches, but do not go try to, like, work out my way out of this.
Because it's a nerve problem, not a muscle problem.
It's a nerve problem, and it's not safe. It's just not safe for my body.
It's a dumb idea.
So I will say, the cold really, really triggers me. The cold, the cold for me is pain. I mean, it's not just uncomfortable. People get uncomfortable in cold, but the cold for me equals pain.
Tomorrow's a big test. Tomorrow's the first sub-zero day we got. She's going back to work.
I get out of the shower and the heat affects my balance. So there's balance issues. It's not just strength issues. It's not just my leg giving out issues. There's balance issues in there too. Big time. So heat and humidity causes balance issues. Cold causes stiffness and pain. It all makes sense. It all lines out. Everything that.
Do you know one thing that I love about this, and it's so crazy? I think I talked to you and your mom about this. Yeah, I did in the car. Coming out of the recovery as well, I think something that it taught me, and it's just awesome because now we actually get to do this. The one day at a time mentality.
Yes.
Like me and you, like tomorrow, we have no idea what tomorrow's going to be, right?
No.
And I've gotten so obsessed and so good with the one day, so we're going to take it.
We are.
Tomorrow may be awesome and it may really suck, but we're going to do it together.
Yeah.
And we know that we have people praying for us. We have a team of medical professionals, the best on the planet, behind us. Just social media in general. This is one of those examples where social media is awesome.
Yeah.
Because she can get on and talk with, thousands of other people that are going through something similar. Mm-hmm. Another thing with MS is no two stories are the same.
Right.
So there's a humongous value in everybody coming together and sharing their experiences.
That is very important that everyone understands that everybody's MS different. Journey is different. Because I don't want people watching and be like, oh, well, my second cousin twice removed.
She took 3 Tylenol every day. She was cool.
MS and
right.
She's fine. That's what makes an MS diagnosis kind of more scary because you don't know they can't tell you for sure where your story is going to go. MS is different and it hits everybody differently.
But that encouraging thing with the new in January 27 at 390, there is an entire center. One, they're already at the best of the world at what they do.
Right.
Now they're building a big, huge headquarters.
Wait till you see the picture. Like,
it's awesome. And if you live around here, you're used to it. You've seen Riley. You've seen some of the beautiful hospitals in Carmel and downtown Indy. This is up there on par with that, but if the building is dedicated to absolutely nothing but issues like the one that my wife's got. And that is so unbelievably encouraging to me.
And I have an underlying peace because God has been loud and clear that I am going to be okay.
Yeah,
like He has reassured me
dude, I don't know.
in many ways I'm going to be okay. He has assured me that He's put me in the right hands. He is just adding more to my testimony. And
that's right. But can I say something?
Yes.
That doesn't mean that you won't wake up Tuesday morning scared to death and
of course.
For about 20 minutes.
I'm going to have my moments. I am going
Everybody
to have
does.
my
We're
moments.
humans. We're going
100%. I'm going to have my moments.
But you know what's happening is it's that your spiritual muscle is getting stronger. This is just like your mental or your physical muscle. You're just tearing it down and building it up. That trust is getting stronger. That faith is getting stronger. Because, like for the first time, I'll be real, for the first time in a while, I feel like that you have and I haven't seen this in you in a while, so this makes me so happy.
Yeah.
A level of positivity and encouragement and I know that we got this that I haven't seen out of you in a while.
Well, it's been hard because, I get I thought I had stiff person syndrome, and then the insurance is denying the...
It's been a battle, Krista. I'm not saying that. It's been rough.
So it's been rough on me mentally because I'm like, okay, so if insurance is going to deny this, and
it just hurts me seeing you like that.
Yeah, it was just tough.
It makes me happy. It makes me happy seeing you like this.
Yeah. And
sorry, Mark.
Not that I'm like doing cartwheels over this diagnosis, of course not. But I knew something was wrong, right? And really, stiff person syndrome has very little research done to it. It's so rare. I mean, they're just now doing breakthrough research on it. MS
7 people
is totally different, a totally different story.
There's a community.
A community, and he because he specializes in both. So he specialized. That's what led me there, because he's one of the few that specializes in stiff person syndrome.
Yeah. And
he also specializes in MS. And so he kind of said, this is better, without saying this is better. He kind of hinted that
that's
this is
better. That's the first thought I had.
Yeah. So for those reasons, and I'm telling you, he had things going on in his head that he can't say definitively, but that he knows that I'm going to be okay. And then God told me I'm going to be okay through everything Mary, else. aka Beth.
Yeah.
And then another Bible verse in the morning. So yeah.
It's just crazy how he works. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm excited to just kick this off. And like I said, for those of you that come to our channel quite often, you're going to have your own separate channel regarding this.
I'm going to
And
make my
so
own
I'll have a link
dedicated to this.
I'll have a link for that playlist. And what I'm saying is you can put it on your Facebook, whatever, where they can go to that. It's just videos related specifically just to that for people that don't want to see my face, which I don't blame you. You can see hers. So we'll do that. And you're going to be intentional about just keeping that. And it's not really, this isn't more so for like, hey, watch what's happening while Krista's doing this. We are doing this because we want to show you how God is working.
Yes.
And we also want to give
That's
him
the purpose.
Give him the glory where it's due, which, by the way, is everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's absolutely
everywhere.
Everything.
And that's why we wanted.
So,
I wanted to make it. I wanted to be very intentional about sharing it this way.
Yeah.
Because I want to share with you how. You can't deny God's hand in this at this point. Like, hearing our story, you cannot deny God's hand has been in this. It's evident. It's evident. From the most evident part, everyone thinks that stands out to them the couple of people I've told in person is the Mary Beth. Mary. That moment was wild, and it blew us all away. We were all in tears, and we told her, we're like, you are literally Jesus in the flesh right now. Like,
I could tell when you started sniffling, I looked over, she eyeballed you a little bit, and I was like, that lady's up to something.
Yeah.
And she got up immediately. Yeah.
So
it was awesome.
That is our purpose in sharing this with you. It's not to bring.
No.
I hate attention drawn to me. I am not a fan of attention drawn to me. I'm not one that likes to be coddled. I'm not one that likes to ask for help. So that is not what this is about. Trust me, that's not what this is about. This is all about glorifying God and his hand in it. That's what this is about. Like, send me, Lord. Here I am. Send me. And boy, is he sending me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the whole goal of this thing. We've been very adamant about that.
That's the goal.
If one of these videos, like if we change one life, we did it.
Right.
Like, out of these hundreds of videos that we do and all of that, if one person turns their life around and follows Jesus even closer,
right,
we did it.
Yeah, we did it.
Seriously. And so we love pumping this on. One of these videos is going to encourage somebody. And what's really funny is it's always the ones that you don't know we're going to do anything. Like, you're recording, you're like, well, that's a dud. And then someone will hit you up and be like, dude, that hit me exactly when I needed it.
Yeah.
That's God at work. So don't discount yourself and just be like, well, God can't use me for this or use me for that. First of all, that's you putting God in the box. Shame on you.
Yeah.
He can use anybody, anytime, anywhere, for anything. One day at a time, follow him as close as you can, seek his face in everything, look for him in everything, and you'll see him in everything. Yeah. I mean, am I wrong?
And you're not wrong. No. And I just want to say, for those of you who care about me, I know it's scary for you too. I know it's scary for you too. I have some of you watching that might be hearing this for the first time, and I know it's scary for you. But I want to re-emphasize that God has enforced that I'm going to be okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle.
I'm going to be okay.
We're not saying that you got a fever and you're good next Thursday.
No.
Like, this is going to be rough.
That's not what we're saying. That I have a battle ahead of me. I do have a battle ahead of me.
Yeah.
We have, I'm just.
But just like Mary Beth.
Be praying for our finances. Yeah. Be praying for the insurance through it, because we're going to make trips back and forth to Cleveland. Just all of that. But I know I'm going to be okay. I know I'm going to be okay. God's got his hand in it.
Yeah, 100% true.
Okay.
There's something else I was going to say about the, it's just on my head, about the Mary Beth thing. Never talking to her.
Oh.
I can't remember.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. We've said enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's so good being back with you guys as well, together. Anyway, I'm on there all the time. If you guys watch, you guys see my face all the time. Her and I together, it has been a minute, but as you can tell, we've obviously had a few things going on. Oh, what I was going to tell you, just like Mary Beth said yesterday, I say a lot in my videos as well, but also, we know that this is going to be rough. We keep saying it like, it's game over, God's got it, bye.
No.
False.
No. We know.
What we have realized over these last few years, and as our faith has gotten stronger, is that none of this crap is going away, but that God's going to be with you every second of the crap.
Right.
Is that said well enough? Right. That's the best way to put it. And it sounds easier said than done. It takes a long time to build up to stuff like that. And there's still going to be days that we doubt and things like that. But I think God has just shown us enough, and he's been so good enough that we're at a rock solid point to where and
God put me, I will say, God put me on this earth to be a warrior. There's no way I'm not a warrior at this point. I am a warrior.
Yeah.
And thank you, God, for making me strong enough to be a warrior.
I'm fully
Really.
convinced that you're going to come out of this and nobody will be able to know any difference whatsoever. I think with those braces that you had, with him watching you walk, and with the physical therapy, he's going to be able to target 5 or 6 different things.
Yeah, we'll
To,
see.
like, it's not going away, but like I'm saying, he's going to be able to improve your life drastically.
Yeah,
Like,
we'll
yeah,
see.
you know what I
I
mean?
mean,
So,
it's going to be a journey, but we'll see.
and we'll see.
We're
Yeah,
going to
who
get
knows?
there.
I don't know.
All right.
Okay, that's all that I really had to say about it. Anything else? Oh, I just need to. I think there was.
So I just want to encourage anyone who is going through anything like this, anything at all, that God has his hand on you and he cares about you and he loves you and he sees you. He sees you. He made his verse of the day for the entire world. Something that was going to touch me that I needed in that moment. Not that it didn't touch, nobody else needed it in that moment. I'm not saying that. But he sees you. He sees you. Okay?
Yeah.
If you have a chronic illness, God sees you. I know that chronic illness is hard. It's very hard because not only are the things that there are the things that people can't see. There's so many things that they can't. Even for my family, there are things that I struggles that I go through that they can't see, and it's important that we're vocal. It's important that we share those things because those things are all real and they're all valid. They are valid.
Absolutely.
Don't let anybody dismiss you. They are valid.
Mm.
If you don't feel seen by your doctor, then please just get a second, third opinion. Think about if I didn't take him up on his second opinion. Uh, do it. Follow your gut. Follow your gut. God puts. God gives you those feelings and that gut for a reason. God gives those to us. We have that discernment in us.
Yeah.
And for families walking through it, through medical uncertainty, God is with you. God is going to take care of that person. The best thing you can do for that person is pray for them and help them and listen to them and validate them, validate what they are feeling. Whether you see it or not, their feelings are just.
No matter how you feel about it, they feel the way that they feel about it. It doesn't matter. Right. Yeah. 100%.
God is going to be with me through my healing. God is going to be with me and continue to give me peace, even in those times where Satan is going to use this, and he will try. Yeah, I know he will. I'm already prepared. He'll guide me. He'll continue to guide me. And most of all, he's going to strengthen me. Like I said, he thinks I'm a warrior, and he just keeps strengthening me for battle. I want you to share this with anyone, please, who you know is going through some struggles. Please share. And we have some other videos that are encouraging and uplifting as well. I mean, Brian's sobriety. Just go back. We have so many that have made us warriors at this point.
Yeah.
So God has walked me through every step of this journey, and he is not done.
Nope. Okay.
I will trust in him and not be afraid. I printed this out. I'm going to hang it up. The image that I made, that, whatever, ChatGPT, whatever made for me, whatever, is a man standing, and he's looking into a dark tunnel, and you can't see. And I'm going to print that out. I printed it out. I'm hanging it in my room for me to look at every morning before I face my day. I will trust him and I will not be afraid.
Love that.
Amen.
Yeah, amen.
Brian, would you like to close us out?
That's good. I would. Yeah. That was so good. Yeah. And yes, I would like to do that. Lord, we just want to thank you for this time. We just want to thank you for our listeners and just for anybody that's watching. And maybe maybe somebody has accidentally stumbled over this and they're watching it and they're going through just a crazy rough time and they don't know how they're going to get to tomorrow. They're so lonely, or they have no support system. They have nobody in their corner. God, just help us to be that vessel that can help them know that there's people out there that love them, and most importantly, that you are there. You are their rock. You are their foundation, and that you don't promise us that we're not going to go through troubles. Quite the opposite. You tell us that we are going to have troubles, but that you will be with us every single step of the way. Every step of the way, even when it doesn't feel like it, even when we doubt you, even when we lose our faith, even when we screw up, God, you are faithful. You're constant. And you're always there. I just pray that this video encourages somebody today, Lord. Be with us and be with our family. Give us strength, God. Help us not only to be healed, God, and to be an example to others, but that only you get the glory for this, God, that we can go tell the world our story of your wonderful healing power, Lord. And the only thing that makes sense is you. And we just love you and we thank you. Thank you so much for this ministry and just for the people that you've given to Krista and I just to be able to reach out to. We love you and we thank you so much. In your son's name, amen.
Amen. Amen. All right, guys. Please reach out if you have any questions. I'll answer them to my best of my ability. And we always welcome any prayers that you can send our way, any encouragement,
we'll pray for you.
Prayers, and we will pray for you as well.
Indeed.
Thank you.
All right, love you guys. Bye.